This is the Barbados Today evening news for Monday, September 4. Thank you for joining us. I am Marie-Claire Williams. Housing Minister Dennis Kelman says the Democratic Labour Party has spoken loud and clear about its zero-tolerance approach to crime, and he's calling on the island's stakeholders to get on board. Yesterday, Prime Minister Frendel Stewart announced that a suite of legislative and other measures will soon be introduced to arrest the problem. Kelman is particularly endorsing calls by the Prime Minister for the Church to take a more aggressive approach to crime. He stresses that the Church has a leading role to play in the country's fight against the problem.
We will not be described as friend of, and you will never have heard me described as friend of crime. So I'm glad to see that we are dealing with it, and I'm very happy to see that the party is endorsing the work of the Church. And I look forward to the Church playing a more meaningful role and the political party associated with the Church, because if we are to fight crime, the crime must be fought from within the churches, because they must also play a greater role. Whenever politicians believe that they are greater than the Church, then you will always have a problem like this.
St. Michael West Central MP James Paul says the ruling DLP has delivered bitter but the right economic medicine to the country. Speaking to Barbados Today on the sidelines of the party's annual conference yesterday, Paul admitted that while recent austerity measures are tough, the Frendel Stewart administration is determined to act in the interest of Barbadians, and he is insisting it cannot be business as usual.
The type of economic growth that we want to see in Barbados is not one based on just short-term programs. What we want to see is real long-term stability coming out of this particular period. It has been a tough period, and I think that the Democratic Labour Party has managed the country well enough through this particular period. We still have challenges, and the thing that also, as we go into the future, that we have to admit is that the paradigm has shifted. In other words, the concerns of people have shifted around the world, and we are seeing now different issues arising, different challenges arising that we've never faced in the past. And that is something that we, as a party and as a people, have to prepare ourselves to face.
Government says its ban on the importation of drones, also known as remotely piloted aircraft systems and unmanned aircraft systems, will remain in place until March 31st next year. In addition, there will be a temporary exemption on a case-by-case basis for drones which are imported and exported immediately after use. The ban on drones was first imposed in April last year to allow authorities to complete a legal framework to govern the use of these devices and determine the number in operation in Barbados. According to a statement released by the Government Information Service, a significant number of drones have been allowed into the country for commercial and recreational purposes, but this has contributed to the unregulated use. Government has also expressed concern about the potential for misuse and the risk posed to safety, security, and privacy. Barbados is leading the region in providing education to the disabled, and it is getting high marks from UNESCO. At a regional meeting which got underway at the Hilton this morning, Felicia Gaskin, an advocate for the disabled community in Guyana, said Barbados and Jamaica have models which should be emulated.
There are few acts that promote access to education for all children and youth between the ages of 3 and 21. In the Caribbean, Jamaica and Barbados have made the most progress in terms of providing for the educational needs of persons with disabilities. Noteworthy also is that Trinidad and Tobago have also been making steady progress in that area as well. Locally, here in Barbados, education is not defined as a placement within a school setting, but it is what is considered and embraces the needs and specialties in the student that moves him or her to attainable levels based on individual testing and goal setting.
Sports now. The Caribbean Premier League has announced the lineup for the final week of competition following the victory of the St. Kitts and Nevis Patriots over the Barbados Trident in the final group match of the season. CPL says the win by the Patriots means they will face the Trinbago Knight Riders in the playoff match tomorrow. The winner of that game will go straight to the final on Saturday, 9th of September. The first elimination match will take place on Wednesday and will see the Jamaica Tallawahs take on the Guyana Amazon Warriors. The winner of that match will play the loser of the playoff game, with the victor making it through to the final.
There's regional and international news after this short break.
Morning, Miss O'Ya.
Morning. You again. So you're washing cars now? Well, I can't keep up with you at all.
Yes, girl. You know they're going to provision to selling slow. And I don't sell nation newspapers at all because them don't sell. So I washing cars now. I like to get up before 8:30 because I can't take the hot sun. You want the car wash?
No, not today. It clean.
But you're going in very early though?
Yeah, I just going early so I can read the Barbados today online before work starts.
Right. But you can still let me clean the vendor for the $2. At least it's still cheaper than the nation newspaper.
All right.
I got a special boo here that I got it shiny. Thank you. Enjoy your day here.
You too.
All right. What that paper is? She can see clearly when the dirt is gone.
The Barbados Today, news you can trust.
Thank you for staying with us. We're back now with news from the region. And authorities across the Leeward Islands have been meeting all day to put final preparations in place ahead of the passage of Hurricane Irma. In its latest bulletin, the National Hurricane Center said Irma had strengthened to a Category 4 system, packing winds of 130 miles per hour. In the Bahamas, which is expected to feel the effects of the powerful storm by Friday morning, the National Emergency Management Agency has announced plans to ship donated emergency supplies from the U.S. to the country's emergency relief warehouse in the island of Inagua. In Antigua and Barbuda, the National Office of Disaster Services is advising residents, especially in flood-prone areas, to leave their homes as early as possible. And in St. Kitts and Nevis, Prime Minister Dr. Timothy Harris is urging the country to take the system seriously and take all necessary precautions. The islands of Montserrat, St. Kitts Nevis, Anguilla, St. Martin, and the Turks and Caicos, among others, are on high alert. And on the international scene, Britain's Prince William and his wife Catherine are expecting their third child. A statement from Buckingham Palace says the Queen and members of the royal family are delighted with the news. The baby will become the fifth in line to the throne behind big sister Charlotte, bumping Prince Harry down the line of succession. The baby will be Queen Elizabeth's sixth great-grandchild. That's news this evening. For the very latest, you can visit our website www.barbadostoday.bb. You can also subscribe to our e-paper, email updates, and like us on Facebook. We're on Izumi Media in bus terminals and Screenplay at supermarkets and gas stations near you. You can also find us on Mix 96.9 FM. I am Mary Claire Williams. Have a good evening.